Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When people take you for granted and lose you, that realization hurts. See, people don't always appreciate what they have until it's gone. When they finally wake up and see that you are the real deal, it hits them like a brick wall. But by then, it's too late. The first thing that kicks in when someone realizes they lost you is regret. It's that deep gnawing feeling in the pit of their stomach, that late night thought that won't let them sleep. They start replaying every moment, every conversation, and every time they took you for granted. They begin to see all the little things they ignored, the way you cared, the way you listened, the way you stood by them when no one else did. And now they realize they messed up. Regret is a heavy burden because it comes with the understanding that there's no way to change the past. And they start thinking about all the opportunities they had to do better, to treat you right, to appreciate you while you were still there. It hits them when they see an old photo, when they hear a song that reminds them of you, or when they go to a place where you two used to spend time together. Suddenly, the memories that they once brushed off now haunt them. What makes regret so painful is that it doesn't happen all at once. At first, they might not even notice the impact of losing you. Maybe they thought they could find someone better. Maybe they believed you would always be around, no matter how they treated you. But as time goes on, as they start encountering people who don't match your energy, your kindness, or your loyalty, that regret starts creeping in. They start realizing that what they had with you wasn't ordinary, it was rare. They may even try to justify their actions to themselves. And maybe it wasn't meant to be. They tell themselves, and maybe I did the right thing. But deep down, they know the truth. They know they had something special, and they let it slip away. They start questioning their own choices, wondering if they made a mistake, wondering if they could ever find someone like you again. Regret isn't just about realizing they lost something good. It's about realizing they were the reason for the loss. That's the part that stings the most. Because once they come to terms with the fact that it was their actions, their neglect, their inability to appreciate you that caused the relationship to end, there's no escaping that truth. They can't blame anyone else. They can't rewrite history. They just have to sit with it. And here's the real kicker. Regret doesn't just go away. It lingers. It shows up in quiet moments in unexpected ways. They see someone on the street who looks like you and their heart skips a beat. They hear your name in a conversation and sends a shock through their system. They see you moving on, and suddenly the weight of their choices feels unbearable. The worst part about regret is that it makes them want to reach out, but pride often holds them back. They think about sending that text, making that call, trying to reconnect, but then they hesitate. What if you don't respond? What if you've truly moved on? What if they have to face the reality that they are no longer a part of your life? That fear, that uncertainty only adds to the weight of their regret. They start to wonder what would have happened if they had done things differently, if they had treated you better, if they had appreciated you the way they should have. They think about the what ifs and the could have beens, and it eats them up inside. Because at the end of the day, regret is nothing more than a reminder of all the chances they wasted, all the love they took for granted, and all the moments they can never get back. And by the time they fully understand what they lost, you're already gone. You've moved forward. You've healed. You've realized your worth. And now they are the ones left behind, drowning in regret, knowing they lost someone who was truly irreplaceable. Emptiness is a strange and heavy feeling. It creeps in slowly, sometimes unnoticed at first, but once it settles in, it's nearly impossible to shake. When someone loses you, they don't always realize right away what they've done. At first, they may think life will go on as usual. They assume they'll be fine without you, that they can just move forward without a second thought. But then reality sets in. And when it does, they begin to feel that deep, hollow emptiness that no distraction can fill. It often starts with small, unexpected moments. Maybe they reach for their phone to text you only to remember that you're no longer there. Maybe they go to a place where you two used to spend time together, and the silence feels deafening. They begin to notice how quiet their life has become without your laughter, your presence, and your energy. And that's when the emptiness begins to sink in. Losing you isn't just about losing a person, it's about losing a connection, a sense of comfort, a presence that once made their world feel whole. You were the person they could turn to, the one who understood them in ways no one else did. You were their support, their cheerleader, their safe space, and now without you, life feels different. It feels colder, lonelier. They may not have realized it before, but you were the light in their life, and now that light is gone. They may try to fill that void with distractions, going out more, surrounding themselves with new people, burying themselves in work or hobbies. But no matter what they do, nothing quite feels the same. They laugh, but it doesn't feel as genuine. They spend time with others, but there's always something missing. The emptiness follows them everywhere, reminding them of what they lost. One of the hardest parts about this emptiness is the realization that you were a constant in their life, someone they could always count on. And now they have to face the truth that they are alone in a way they never expected. They might have thought they could replace you, that someone else would come along and fill the space you left behind. But the truth is, people like you don't come around every day. Your presence wasn't just ordinary, it was special. And that's what makes the emptiness even harder to bear. They begin to reflect on all the times they took you for granted. They remember the moments when they didn't appreciate your efforts, the times they dismissed your feelings, the times they assumed you would always be there no matter what. And now, without you, those memories become painful reminders of what they lost. They start to see all the little things you did for them, the way you listened when they needed to talk, the way you cared for them even when they didn't deserve it, the way you loved them wholeheartedly. At night, when the world quiets down and there are no more distractions, that's when the emptiness hits the hardest. They lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about you. They wonder what you're doing, if you miss them, if you ever think about them the way they think about you. But deep down, they know the truth. You're moving on, and they're the ones left behind. The weight of this emptiness becomes unbearable. They start to regret their choices, wishing they had done things differently. They wish they had valued you more, shown you more appreciation, and realized your worth before it was too late. But now they have to live with the consequences of their actions. They have to wake up every day knowing that they lost someone who truly cared for them, someone who was there for them in a way that no one else has ever been. And the worst part, they can't go back. They can't undo the past. They can't just pick up the phone and bring you back into their life like nothing happened, because you've changed, you've grown, you've realized that you deserve better. And now they are the ones left to sit with the emptiness, to feel the void that only you could fill. No matter what they do, no matter how much time passes, that emptiness stays with them. It becomes a part of them, a reminder of what they lost and what they can never get back. They learn too late that some losses aren't just temporary, they're permanent. And losing you, that was the biggest loss of all. Jealousy is one of the strongest and most unsettling emotions a person can experience. And when someone realizes they lost you, it hits them in ways they never expected. At first, they might not think much of it. Maybe they assume they can move on easily, that you were just another chapter in their life. But then reality sets in. They start seeing you happy, thriving, glowing without them, and suddenly that jealousy creeps in like a slow burning fire. It starts with curiosity. They find themselves wondering what you're up to, who you're spending time with, how your life is going now that they're no longer in it. Maybe they check your social media, scrolling through your pictures, looking for signs that you might be missing them too. But instead of finding sadness or longing, they see something else, happiness. You're smiling, going out, achieving new things, maybe even meeting new people. And that's when it hits them. You didn't just move on. You're flourishing. That's when jealousy takes hold. It's a strange and bitter feeling because deep down, they know they had their chance. They had you and they let you go. But now, seeing you happy without them feels like a punch to the gut. They start questioning everything. Were they really that easy to replace? Did they mean as little to you as they thought? How could you be so at peace when they're still stuck in the past? Jealousy makes them compare. They start looking at the people around you, trying to figure out if someone new has taken their place. They analyze every detail, who you're hanging out with, how often you're posting, whether your smile looks a little brighter than it did before. If they see you with someone new, even if it's just a friend, that jealousy intensifies. Their mind starts racing with possibilities, and suddenly, the idea of you being with someone else is unbearable. They might try to act like they don't care. Maybe they pretend to be unbothered, posting things to make it seem like they've moved on too. But no matter what they do, they can't shake that feeling. They realize that losing you wasn't just about losing a relationship. It was about losing something valuable, something they took for granted. And now seeing you happy without them makes them question everything about themselves. Jealousy isn't just about wanting someone back. It's about realizing that someone else might get to experience what they had and threw away. They start remembering all the little things you did for them, the way you cared, the way you supported them. And the thought of someone else receiving that same love, that same energy, it eats them up inside. They might start trying to insert themselves back into your life. Maybe they start liking old pictures, sending messages just to check in, hoping you'll respond. They might even try to make you jealous in return, hoping to get some kind of reaction from you. But deep down, they know the truth. Your world no longer revolves around them. And that realization stings more than anything else. The hardest part for them is knowing that you moved on without needing revenge, without bitterness, without trying to make them feel the way they made you feel. You just focused on yourself, healed and found happiness on your own terms. And that's what makes their jealousy unbearable. Because at the end of the day, they wanted you to need them. They wanted to believe that losing them would break you. But instead, you became even stronger. And now, they're left with nothing but jealousy, regret, and the painful understanding that they lost someone truly irreplaceable. Powerlessness is a feeling that creeps in slowly but takes over completely. When someone realizes they lost you, there comes a point when they finally accept that no amount of regret, emptiness, or jealousy can change the fact that you're gone. And that's when they feel the worst part of it all, being powerless. They can no longer control the situation. They can't undo what's been done. They have to sit with the reality that they no longer have access to you the way they once did. At first, they might try to fight against this feeling. They reach out, sending texts that say, "Hey, how have you been?" Or "I was just thinking about you." And they check to see if you've blocked them or if you'll respond. Maybe they even try to run into you by accident, just to see if they still have a chance. But when they realize that their words don't have the same effect on you anymore, that their presence doesn't shake you the way it used to, that's when the power shift truly hits them. They used to believe they had control over the situation. Maybe they thought they could come back whenever they wanted. Maybe they assumed you'd always be waiting for them, always hoping they'd return. But now, they see that you're no longer available to them. You move forward, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, and that makes them feel completely powerless. They begin to understand that they no longer have influence over your emotions. They can't make you smile like they used to. They can't make you cry. They can't make you drop everything for them anymore. The power they once held is gone, and now they are left with the consequences of their actions. This realization is devastating. They start thinking about all the moments they could have done things different. They replay conversations in their head, wishing they had said something else, acted another way. They think about the times they ignored you, dismissed your feelings, or took you for granted, and they wonder if there was a single moment when they could have changed the outcome. But no matter how much they wish they could go back, they can't. And that's where the real powerlessness comes in. Because for the first time, they see that life doesn't wait for anyone. It moves forward with or without them. They might try one last attempt to regain control. Maybe they pour their heart out in a message telling you how much they miss you, how much they regret losing you. Maybe they even apologize, hoping that their words will bring you back. But when they see that you no longer need their validation, when they realize that you have outgrown the person they once knew, they feel something they never expected. True helplessness. They can't force you to care. They can't make you feel something that's no longer there. They can't undo the growth you've experienced, the healing you've done. And the hardest part, they know deep down that they did this to themselves. They see you standing tall, living your life, thriving without them, and they realize that they are no longer a part of your story. They were just a chapter, one that ended, and no matter how much they wish they could rewrite it, they can't. That's what true powerlessness feels like. It's not just losing someone. It's knowing that you had every opportunity to keep them and you let them go. And now there's nothing left to do but watch from a distance as they continue forward without you.